Good evening, everyone. Sorry for starting late. We're having some issues with our Wi-Fi internet. You know how it is. It's raining out there, and because of that, the internet is fluctuating in the signal. So let's see what we'll be doing this evening. I'll have some apologies. We're expecting the mental health professional to come in, but it's quite unfortunate that she will not be joining us this. But never mind, we've have our great Joy. Yeah, she has something so special for us, which we are going to learn from. At least we have something to take home. I know it's raining out there. Sometimes some people feel like going to bed and just be sleeping, but do not let us be depressed. Keep your questions that you have to ask, and even if there is any you don't want to ask as the course is going on, just keep it and do ask those questions later or through WhatsApp. Welcome back to this section. We are the Third Foundation. My name is Owa. We have Joy in our midst, and today we're going to treat something most parents are looking forward to. That's what we call the parental control. We have a special topic in the welfare mental health awareness before, but because of the situation of things, she's not able to join us. We are going to put it in the pot and allow it to be cooking and waiting for us to take good care of. So let's just wait for maybe subsequent week. We'll be able to make her to join us. Let's welcome Joy to this session again. Thank you, Joy, and we are happy to see you in our midst.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
I hope we're well. Thank you again for connecting, for always committing, for always having that desire to learn. And yes, and it's great to be here again, looking at how we can improve on ourselves, improve on our knowledge, our skills, share experiences. As usual, and as always, please, if you can, contribute. I don't want to be the only person talking. It's quite boring. And I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. So if you can contribute in any way, please feel free. Stop me, interrupt me. I don't mind. And if I've asked a question, if you can, and just try and answer. And no idea is a silly idea. Trust me, and no question is a silly question. So always just push for your ideas or questions or answers, actually. And if you never know, it might benefit, one or two persons here, because as usual, we're always here to learn. So as Owa has already introduced, we're going to be looking at parental control. So as parents and, responsible adults and carers or guardian, whatever position you want to classify yourself in, we have a responsibility to look after our kids, to make sure that they are safe, they have good well-being, mentally, online, physically, spiritually. But, for today, we're going to be looking at, how we can make sure that they're safe online and how we can exert our control, to make sure that they're not going the wrong path and they don't have exposures to content and information that are detrimental to them. So that's just the whole point, and what we can do from our end, from our perspective as a parent, because I know that sometimes people feel very lost, feel very overwhelmed, actually, with the amount of information out there and with the fast pace of technology. It's hard to keep up to speed with. So if we look at it together, hopefully you won't feel alone. You won't feel like you're on your own, and you can hear other people's experience because you're not alone in that situation. So the parental control we're looking at today is basically online parental control and what we can do to enforce that. So why parental control? Why do we think it's important? So as I said, it's really, first of all, let's define what parental control is. So the online world gives us access to a huge amount of information. This is not a definition. This is an explanation of why we need to think about things like parental control. Because even if in your own home, you do control your children, you can tell them that, oh, when you go out to maybe do shopping or maybe go to school, you have to come back at such and such time. There is limits, there's restrictions according to their age, according to maybe your values, according to their understanding. So there is always control, that we enforce, that we put in place as parents. So the online world, gives us access to a huge amount of information, which we've looked at this in the previous weeks. And therefore, the scale of information that's out there means that, there might be content that's inappropriate for the children. So basically, what is appropriate and inappropriate is down to you as an individual. What might be right for you might not be right for me. We might have, different ideas, different views, different opinion on what I think, might be right for my child. Because there might be two children of the same age. One of them is more matured than the other. One of them is more knowledgeable than the other. One of them is more sensible, if I can use that word, than the other. One of them knows what to do in a certain situation better than the other. So no two child is the same. Even amongst your children, everyone is different. Some of them, maybe for one child, you could say, oh no, with this one, I know she's very sensible or he's very sensible. He would know what to do. He will come to me. He wouldn't entertain anything that's not, beneficial or that contradicts maybe their values and things like that. But for another child, maybe not so much, so your parental control might be different from mine, but the whole idea is, and we do appreciate that because everyone's circumstance and family situation is different. But the whole idea is that you find out and you're able to make that decision as to what you feel is good for your child to access or not. So what is parental control? Oh, sorry, we've talked about that already. Hang on. So my slides I'm going to edit these slides. Hold on, just bear with me. I think I've kind of messed them up. Ooh, I've stopped sharing, sorry. Bear with me, please. I'm going to start sharing again. Okay. Right. I think I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't want to be kicked out of Zoom or have any technical problems. So what are parental controls? They are controls or settings that allow you to block or filter upsetting or inappropriate content. They work across your Wi-Fi, your phone network, individual apps and devices, full stop. That's basically what it is. So there are things that you can do to your device to block inappropriate content, to make sure that the child or the young person is not exposed to information or content that is inappropriate for their age, abilities, and your values as well. So that's what parental control are. So let's look at how we can, what we can do. Yeah, how parental control can help you. Parental control can help you plan what time of your day your child can go online and how long for. We looked at this last week. We looked at screen time, what we can do to help manage how long they stay on the screen. So that's one method of parental control. That's one part of parental control. It can help create content to filter or to block apps that may have inappropriate content. So basically, it can help you filter apps or settings that you're using so that certain kind of information don't pop up or they don't come up at all. And it can manage the content differently for family members. So obviously you've got kids of different age groups, some of them, and they will have different parental control. So the parental control that you might enforce for a child who's 16 years might not be the same for a child who's 7 or maybe 10 years. So the whole point of this is that, you're able to enforce it appropriately, depending on the child, depending on the ages of the child. So the first thing we're going to look at is search engines. So search engines are good because everyone uses Google. Everyone uses for Apple. Sorry, what you guys use for Apple? What's the search engine you use for Apple product? Is it Google? And I know it's different. For the Apple user, sorry, I'm an Android user. So everyone uses different search engines. But
Safari.
Safari, thank you.
Safari.
Thank you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you, Owa. So everyone uses different search engines, but most people use Google. Even if you go through Safari, you probably end up in Google, or you go on Yahoo, you go on Bing, it doesn't matter. But we all use Google. So we're going to look at search engines, and what you can do is that you can make sure that the content your child sees online is appropriate, which we've already established. You can make sure that you set parental control on the home broadband device. That's one way of managing your search engine. And also you can set up Google Family Link. And this is a useful app to manage the range of features such as restricting content, approving or disapproving apps, setting screen time, and more. So basically the Google Family Link means that you can set it up for the whole family, and you can set different parental controls for different members of the family. You're all using one Google in a sense. Let's look at a demonstration. It will make more sense if we look at a demonstration. Let's look at a YouTube video that helps us understand how we can set up Google Family Link for the whole family, or for just one child, to make sure that you have control on what they're searching on Google. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to share again a video. Right. And we'll discuss today how. Can you hear? Did you hear that? Thumbs up if you heard that. You heard that? Thumbs up. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm just going to start again.
Not hearing it now.
Joy, can you hear us?
My kid's phone. In my parents' phone, I'll be opening the App Store.
Sorry, can you hear? You can't hear.
It's fragmenting.
All right. So, oh gosh.
We're not hearing properly. It's fluctuating.
Okay, so the audio is breaking up, yeah? Oh, can I
start all over again?
Can I start all over
yes,
again?
Maybe to help. Start all over again. Yeah, let's see. Because we really want to listen to this.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
No, not quite.
Oh, that's a shame. Should I send you this video? Would it be possible to play from your end?
Let's see. Send it to me. Let me see whether it will work. Yeah.
Okay. Your network is also breaking up as well a little bit. Oh dear. Right. Okay.
Dear. Okay. Dear.
Apologies, everyone. I'm just gonna quickly send this to Owa. It's a very short video. It's only like 5 minutes, but I think it's quite an important one. It's quite interesting. Okay, I've sent it to your WhatsApp. Does that help, or did you want it on
Okay,
email?
let's see. Let's see. What's that? Let's see.
I'll stop sharing then.
Yeah, but hold on for a minute. I'm trying to see if I wanted to play it from what's it called? Let me send it to. Network is really bad,
Network
honestly.
it's not great today.
It's taking
at all.
forever to boot.
Okay.
Yeah, what will
So
happen? Just continue with your teaching.
Okay, let's keep this. Let me try
If
one
I'm
more
able
time.
to do it, I would let you know.
Okay, let me try one more time and see. And if not, just give me a sign, because I can't really see your faces, but just give me a sign. Oh, I can only see your face. Let me try one more time and see. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is the wrong video. Hear that, or is it still fragmented?
It's not working.
Okay, okay, all right.
I think it's the network problem.
It is. I'll stop sharing. I'll stop sharing. Okay. Right. Okay. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Let me go back to my slide.
Hear you.
I'll go back to my slide. All right. So what we can do, Owa, is maybe we can put a video up on the platform and people can watch it in their own time.
Yeah, I'll send it off now.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. So with the Google Family link, because obviously you go to different apps and websites via Google, it means that you'll be able to have set up a control on your child's phone so that they have restrictions. So there's limitations to which content they can access in different apps, including YouTube. So that was what that video was about. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next. So that's for search engines. So now with home broadband and Wi-Fi. So how many of us know that we can put in some restrictions through our broadband and Wi-Fi? You can use filter from your internet provider to control the content that you and your family see. So for example, if I've put in a restriction on my Wi-Fi, if somebody comes to my house or any member of my family who's logged onto my Wi-Fi is trying to maybe access a site, a site for adults content, they might not be able to do that because I've already put a restriction on that. So you can pick and choose on the sites that people can go on whilst they are using your internet connection, whilst they are using your Wi-Fi. And to control the content, that your family can see. So to set up any device connected to your home broadband, how you do it depends on your provider. So people need to contact on their internet provider. They contact their internet provider to discuss this with them. And you can ask them to help you set this up. So remember that this only affects your child accessing the internet through the Wi-Fi. If they are accessing the internet through their mobile data, then, this doesn't really help. But if they're accessing the internet through your Wi-Fi or your broadband, then you might be able to put in that restriction. That's when this comes in, and that's when it becomes effective. So again, as I said, just to recap on this particular point, you can contact your internet provider to discuss them putting in place settings that will block some particular websites or contents for your children, not just your children, anybody that's in that household, period. Okay. But again, as I said, the only restriction is if they're on mobile data, you won't be able to have control over that. How many people knew about this? Just out of interest. Does anybody know about this? Has anybody heard of this before? No? Okay. So that's great because that's new information and it's something that you can look into. You have to contact your internet provider. Now with games, so we do know that a lot of our children spend quite a lot of time gaming online. And most of these games have internet access, which means that your child can go online and chat with other players. And that's quite worrying, you know, because you never know who's on the other end of the game or you know, the websites that they're accessing. I gave a story last week about a child who fell into the hands of predators and eventually this child was killed very sadly. You know, so if your child is gaming on maybe Roblox and they log in, they connect with other players that they're not familiar with, then you can put in a restriction on that. So many consoles have parental controls, which allow you to manage the features that are available to your child. So what you can do is turn off the chat functions to stop your child from talking to people they don't know. They can play with them, but there's no communication whatsoever. Excuse me. So that reduces the risk of your child being taken advantage online. That reduces the risk of them, you know, communicating with strangers that they're not aware of. That reduces the risk of your child being bullied. That reduces the risk of your child getting upset whilst they're just, you know, innocently enjoying an activity, you know, like every other child, like every other human being. So if you turn off the chat functions, it means that they won't be able to chat with other people. And then you can also restrict games based on the ages. It's just like Netflix as well. You can, so with Netflix, obviously you've got different age parental controls and age categories depend on the ages of the people of your household. You can do the same with games. And then you can turn off in-game purchases or set a limit. Because you know, like sometimes your child is playing a game and sometimes they say, oh, you have to buy a certain maybe level, or you have to purchase something on that site. That's actually equally dangerous and risky because your bank details might have already, that game or that app might have already been linked to your bank details. And if they accept it, then that means they might be, you know, making inappropriate purchases online without you being aware. So you need to sit down with your children and find out what game console they're playing. Is it FIFA? Is it PS4? And you know them, you know the ones that your children are playing. Just get familiar with it and make sure that these restrictions are in place. Turn off the chat functions and also make sure that the games that they're playing, because some of these games they can be quite violent. You know, some of them, they're killing people, they're smashing, you know, heads. It's quite, I would say, quite, what's the word? It's quite upsetting, you know. And you never know, some of these characters that they see on the gaming might influence how they even react, how they behave. So just make sure that whatever games they're playing, it's age appropriate and it doesn't upset them. So that's it with the game console.
Hello, Joy. Sorry for cutting in. Antonia is raising her hand up. Do you want
sorry.
to... It's all right.
Go ahead, Antonia.
Yeah, I just want to say something concerning what you said about the game purchasing.
Yeah.
You know, a sister of mine, she did her phone she gave to the daughter, and the daughter, the thing was a kind of linked to her account. And what happened was that the daughter was playing this game, and the daughter purchased that is something worth of 1,750, and the mom did not know, only for them to remove the money from the mother's account, Then the mom was saying, I did not buy anything. So how come people are removing 1,700 from my account? So when they now brought every details, they saw that it was the daughter that was playing game. So she was purchasing the game and she didn't even know what she was doing. And the thing was linked to the mom's account. So
Yes.
the mom, when the mom told me, I said, okay, what are we going to do? So we had to call the as in the bank, and was telling her, she's just 10 years old and she doesn't know what she was doing. So luckily for her, they refund the money for her. And that was how the mom took the phone away from her. And in fact, she didn't use any other phone again until she entered. I think she's in 16 now or thereabout, before the mom started giving her phone. So that was what happened, because the mom didn't know, and they collected 1,750 from her account just because the girl was purchasing game. And she didn't even know that she was purchasing. She thought maybe it was free.
Yes, they're quite deceptive like that. Thank you, Antonia. That's a typical classic example of how, children can go online and they're not aware of what they're doing. They're not aware of the clicks they are making, the sites they are going. Sometimes you get prompts that says accept, and you accept, and then it takes you to a whole different setting, a whole different, app that you did not intend, the child did not intend to even go into. So that's a very typical example. And I presume that this child might have purchased those games over a long period of time, because 1,700 is a huge amount of money. Luckily, the banks are quite good and they're quite understanding. But for some other countries, you might not be that lucky. Once it's gone, it's gone. They might not be able to retrieve your money back. So it's quite serious. It's not just the fact that maybe they're chatting with other people that they're not aware of online. It's also the fact that they might be exploited online financially and you not being aware of it. So thank you very much, Antonia. So the next thing that we can do to put in parental control is to also make sure that it's enforced on the mobile, tablets, and computers that our children use. On average, if you look at most homes, most people, I wouldn't say every, I don't want to generalize, but most homes have either a mobile or tablets or a computer or even a smart TV. And you can do quite a lot, with all of that. So again, what the parents can do is allow or disallow in-game or in-app purchases. With some of the apps, you need to pay for it. Sometimes you think, oh, it's very small, it's very minimal. It's like £2 or £1. It still adds up. It's still money. So you can allow or disallow in-game or in-app purchases. You can go to settings such as location settings on these tablets and what information your child is sharing. Through going to the location settings, you'll be able to determine what information your child is sharing. Go to the well-being settings to help with limiting screen times. And that's there for most of these smart devices these days. You've got screen time settings that you can activate so that the child, has some level of control, whether you're there or you're not there. Personally, with me, I like the children to use the smart TV because even if I'm not in the same room as them, personally, but I'm in the kitchen cooking, but I can hear what they're watching. I can see what they're watching. So I like the TV. If you've got smart TV and they want to go online, they want to be online, that's fine because it's public. Everyone can see, everyone can hear. But in a situation where the child is curled up in bed, with their mobile, they're under the duvet, they're feeling cozy, you have, and you might not even be in the house, or you might be in other areas of the house. It's very easy for them to probably have that exposure, and maybe you never know what they're doing. So I just say, keep it open. That's my policy if you can. You can get more advice about setting up controls on your devices from your mobile provider and the UK Safer Internet Centre. So if you have, we're happy to share these slides, but if you click into this website here, it will give you more information about how you can set up controls on different devices. Because I can only tell you about so much. I mean, there's quite a few of us here. We might all have different devices. It might not even be Samsung or the popular iPhone. It might be something else. And it might be different for different phones. So if you go on this website here, it's there for you. I always say that knowledge is power. Good knowledge is power. If you get bad knowledge, then that's detrimental, but good knowledge is power. So always, just go in there at your spare time, look in there and see whether, they've covered your kind of phone. And if you're not sure, by all means, always speak to OWA or drop a line on the platform and we can look at it. On Apple devices such as iPhone, iPads, Apple Watch, Apple TV, there are features available for parents, all tied into an account. Okay, you can set content and privacy restrictions, prevent purchases, allow or disallow apps, and more. See what parental controls are. Again, for Apple, this is the link for where you can put in all the restrictions, go on all the settings, and make sure that it's all in there. If your child is using an Apple device, either it's an iPad or maybe an Apple phone, you can go on this website and it will tell you how you can implement that on their devices. Okay, so that's it for mobile tablets and computers. Also, we can look at apps and online services. So many social media and apps and online services such as films and TV streaming services have features such as content filters, chat filters, privacy settings, in-app purchases, and so on. So it's also very much possible that you can set up all of these restrictions as well on the apps, the various apps that your children use or that even you use, because sometimes they have access, let's be honest, they have access to our phones and sometimes they want to use our phones. And if you don't have those settings in place, then you're also exposing them. So you can have that on your phone, or if they don't have access to your phone, you can put it on their phone. You can find out about these features by looking in the settings on each app, or take a look at the website for more information. They might be called settings or family features, privacy or security. Okay, so for the various apps that your children have got on their phones, because we do have quite a lot, always go on the settings, always go on the features that they have on that app and look at how you can put in some restrictions for them. And the next we can look at, so this is Facebook, still talking about apps and social media. Okay, so for Facebook, there is Parental Portal, which helps explain the features available. So I don't know what ages your children are, but I do understand that some children have early access. As I said, and we've already established that it depends on the parents. It depends on how they see it. If your child is already using Facebook, then there are Parents Portal, which explains how you can put in some certain features just to protect them. For Netflix, it's the same. You've got the different age control, and make sure they don't have access to your password. Because the content that you would have access to on Netflix is different from the ones that your children would have access to, and they have put that in place for a very, very good reason. So let's make sure that they don't know our password and they stick to content or programs that are age appropriate according to how it's been set on these websites or on these applications such as Netflix. There is also the Microsoft Family Safety. So by creating the family group, you can manage many settings, such as setting screen times, blocking appropriate. So all of the apps, they're doing what they can to make sure that parents have the choice. The problem is that we are the ones that are not taking advantage of all of these settings, all of these safety features that have been included in the apps and the devices that we use. Sometimes I feel like parents are quite, can be quite lazy or quite complacent and think that, oh, it's not possible. It's very, very much possible for your children to access content that are not appropriate for their age. So we must take it seriously. We must do what we can to protect them. And we must get knowledge. We must find the time. Sometimes it's just finding the time to do all of these things. So we must create the time, because they say prevention is better than cure. So it's better for you to prevent it than for you to start fixing it. Okay. And, you know, if it's going to benefit the child, if you feel that this child, you know, and in my opinion, I feel that every child needs that control. So if we haven't done it before, let's try and get it done. So we had another video on TikTok Parental Control, because TikTok is very popular. Most children like it. It's got funny content. It's got contents that are trending. Even if you're not on TikTok, sometimes you get videos or content sent to your WhatsApp that's been already on TikTok. So a lot of children have access to TikTok. I know that there's age restriction, but still children still have access to it. There is parental control. This video was to show us how, it's like a 3-minute video, just basically to show us how we can implement that on TikTok. So for example, making sure that not everyone can have access to your child's content. So children like to do TikTok videos, and sometimes they're just doing it for the sake of maybe themselves or their families, or just to share with friends. So you can actually go on your child's phone and make sure that you have gone, excuse me, you go on the setting that disallows everyone, people they're not aware of, to have access to their TikTok content. And it's just the way we looked at WhatsApp last week, where you can restrict people from seeing your videos, your images, your status, and all that. You can restrict it to just your contacts. You can restrict it to a certain group of people. It's the same with TikTok. You can restrict it, you know, on their devices. Okay. And so personally, another thing I would like to add is, especially with children who's got phone, what I tend to do from time to time, my children know, is that sometimes I collect their phones from them, and I do like a random, so I do a spot check, let's put it like that. I do a spot check. So in spite of all of these features, all of these measures that we've put in place, children are very, very smart these days. And if you're not careful, they might be 2 steps ahead of you. So what I do is that I do spot checks. So I just say, okay, right, today I'm having your phones unexpectedly. And you can see their faces like, really? Why? Mom, what? I say, yeah, right now. Oh, can you just give me 10 minutes? No, there's no 10 minutes. So I might not do it for a month. I don't do it monthly. No, I don't do that, because I take them on our words. I make them feel comfortable. They're confident. I trust them. And that's because I trust them. I'm not going to be on their back every minute, checking what they're doing online, checking who they're contacting, checking who they're messaging, who they're speaking to. I put in these measures, and I let them be free, you know, to use it within, you know, reasons anyway. But every now and then I drop in on them, and it takes me, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it takes me 4 or 5 hours, and I can be quite thorough. I look in the pictures that they have, okay? I go in their videos, the videos that they've made. I go in their text messages that they've sent. You might not agree with this, and it just depends on, you know, how you parent. It depends on your parenting style. So I'm not saying that's, you know, that's the standard, but I'm just telling you, this is what I do. Okay. I look at the kind of conversations they have, it helps me, because sometimes children can be one thing in the home and there's something else out there. As soon as they step out of the home, they become something else. Sometimes you think that, oh, your children, oh, they can never use this language, they can never do this. But when you go, you would know by the kind of conversations they have, the kind of groups that they're in. They go into, you know, WhatsApp groups. What's the purpose of that group? Who is in that group? Are the people in their school? Are they making friends from people outside of their school? And if not, how did you come across these people, love? You know, so it's things like that. It helps you just think, and it puts them on their toes as well. And it helps you also, it kind of reassures you, it helps you relax. So yeah, I do all of that. I go on the TikTok, I see all their videos. Sometimes they do videos when they're in the bus stop. That's fine. I'm not going to penalize them for that. But you just have to be sensible. You know, are you putting yourself at risk? Are you going to miss your bus because you're doing TikTok video? You know, it's having those conversations like that. Are you going to be late home because you're carried away, you're doing, excuse me, you're doing a TikTok video? So it's things like that. Some people might say it's very intrusive, but I would say for this age, sometimes you need something like that. You need to put your foot down. You can put in all of these measures, but you still need to take practical steps to see exactly what they're doing and to make sure that, you know, you're there to be able to guide them. And you can have these conversations, you know, every now and then to make sure that when they come in contact with information that they're upset about, that's not appropriate, that they feel free to be able to share it with you. So we can also look at Wi-Fi and being away from home. Like I said, all this is saying is that if your child is at home, you can definitely put in some measures to control them. And by contacting your Wi-Fi provider, you can put in, you know, a restriction. However, as soon as they step out, and most children have mobile data, because, you know, the defense is that, oh, we need to be able to call you. Actually, you really don't need mobile data when you're out and about, because you can call using your SIM. You can make a SIM call. The whole point of the mobile data is not really clear, but I would say it's reasonable. For me, it's okay for them to have it. It's just how they use it. So when they're out of the house, they will be able to go on any, I don't know, website, or if they've logged on to like a public Wi-Fi, it might be easier for them to go on, do certain searches that you might not probably approve of. And another thing I also do is that I go on the Google setting and I look on their searches. Okay, so I go on what sites they've been looking at. What are they curious about? You know, children are when it comes to a certain age, you want to feel like, you know, you're growing with them. You're going through that phase of their lives with them. So for example, I've seen that, I can't really remember a specific example, but it could be, for example, what can you do to lose weight? Or, for example, this one I saw that my daughter had searched on is something like, what weight should you be at the age of 15 or 14? This is very interesting, guys. If you don't have teenagers, trust me, their minds are going haywire. Their minds are all over the place. They're curious and they see a lot of things online. And sometimes they might have a certain standard in their head. They might think that, oh, this is the norm. This is how it should be when you're certain age, when you're at this level. So that gets me thinking, that puts me into their minds, because sometimes they might not even want to come to you, you know? So when I've seen things like that, I become curious. I try not to penalize them at all. I just find a way to create like an open conversation with them to make sure that they understand that not everything that they see online.
Sorry, Joy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
I'll be trying to draw your attention. You're not really
sorry.
looking at me. Yeah, but I have to say this. I'm saying this because of those of us that have children that is still growing up or come to a particular stage of their life, that the teenager at that particular age. Some of them, you see what the contribution George just added as in personal contribution. When you are talking of what age should maybe a 13 years old or a 15 years old, the weight they should be at that particular age. If there is a mental health issue coming up, because children, they have mental health issues. If their mental health issues are coming in, setting in, because some people children see themselves, oh, I'm too big, or I'm too tiny, I want to add more weight. But most of them see themselves as if they are too big. They really want to trim, you know? So when you see things coming up and their behavior is relating to that, then you begin to see how to support those type of category of children, you know. So when Joy is talking about this, we shouldn't just take it for granted because it is real. There is an anorexia, there are binge eating and all that, you know. We have to be careful about what the way our children look at themselves, you know. And at the same time, there are some children, they copy what other children, how other children look like, or what their other children are telling them in school. So they start making this internet search. When you see such session and you're giving them food they are not eating, what's the next step? Is how to support them, make them feel as if you are part of them, you know. I just wanted to say this because if you are in a health setting, you know that a lot are going on with the children there. Let's not take things for granted. Thank you, Joy, for that opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just like Owa said, sometimes it might be the beginning of mental health issues, okay? Because it starts from somewhere. It might not even be. It might be a self-esteem issue. It might be a self-confidence issues. It might be bullying issues that they're experiencing. It might be that they've seen, maybe they're, like you said, you know, they think that the norm is for you to be a certain, look a certain way, have a certain shape, have a certain height or age, you know. So all of this, they're trying to, and as teenagers, remember, you know, just put yourself in their shoes when you were a teenager. You know, they're trying to understand their identity, understand their body, understand everything to do with them. They're still growing up. And some of these things they might not even share with you. I'm telling you, sometimes when I've done some of these checks, spot checks on their phone, I've learned more than even meets the eyes, than even things that they would have told me. I've seen things that I thought, oh, actually, you know, maybe it's good to have this conversation and to make them feel like it's okay to have this conversation, you know. And it's also how they perceive themselves, especially when they get to a certain age. So we must get into the habits of, you know, speaking to our children, try and being part of their journey, their journey in terms of how they're growing and the different phases that they're going through. I don't know whether I've shared with you before that, you know, my daughter, she's off screen and she's on strict screen limits because of certain behavior, you know, that she was exhibiting. And to be honest with you, it's not a bad thing that she's off screen. It's actually made her think about other things that she could do other than being stuck to the screen. It's not even good for their eyes. Have we noticed that a lot of children use glasses? Have you ever wondered in your growing up from wherever we are from? I mean, I can speak for myself. I mean, people use glasses from a young age, but not as much as I'm saying it now. You could see people of a household, all the children are using glasses. Father, mother, I can understand with the parents because sometimes it comes with age. When you get to a certain age, you know, you might, I mean, your vision or your system or things might not be as wear and tear, let's call it like that. But it might not even be that with the children. The children, some of them might be genetic, you know, hereditary, fair enough. A lot of them, it's the constant screen time, constant use of, you know, screen devices. It's beyond control with this day and age, you know. So whilst we still have them under our control, like I suppose the point of all of this is that we need to guide them. They might not see it. They might not even see the benefit of it. They might even think that you're punishing them. Oh my God, mom, you know, my friends go to bed at blah, blah, blah. Oh, they are online at so and so time. It doesn't matter. It's for their benefit, it's for their best, it's for the betterment of that child. And as a parent, you want to do everything you can to protect them and to guide them. Where were we? Okay, so again, this is just to say that there are limits to parental control in terms of online parental controls. It's just a fraction of the ways that you can help keep your children safe. They are helpful tools, but there are limitations. So they should be seen as part of a whole solution. That's why I brought in my personal experience. I always like to bring in a personal touch to it so that you know, you can relate with me, I can relate with you. You know that these things that we're learning and hearing about, they're not abstract. They're happening to the everyday family, happening to the everyday child. They're happening in everyday homes, you know. So parental control is just a fraction. It's a piece to the puzzle, okay? It's not going to completely keep your child safe, but at least it will help in certain ways. So even like you know, we've just seen here, even if you place things on your home broadband and your child device, they won't help if your child connects to a different Wi-Fi. So that's a point we've already established. Talking to your child, look at this point, talking to your child, explaining. Sometimes it's good for them to understand the rationale behind your decision. So you don't just jump in and change things and enforce things and force them to do this, do that. They'll just be waiting for you. I'm going to turn 18 soon. I'm going to turn 18 soon. I'm going to be independent. I'm going to be an adult soon. You know, you want to make sure they have these values even from young age, so that even when they turn 18, they still know what is good and right. They can make decisions when they're independent, when they're out in society, because at the end of the day, we don't go out with them all the time. We're never there. They're going to have to take a responsibility to make decisions, certain decisions, when they're with their friends or their network, or when they come across like challenging situations. So the idea is that you're imbibing those good values, you're supporting them, you're talking to them, you're making sure that you're listening to them, not just you talking to them, but you're also listening to them, okay? So sometimes I know we're very busy and you're cooking, you're trying to do something, and they're there. Mom, you know, like my daughter, she came in today and she said, I was actually very busy, to be honest with you, preparing for this slide. I wanted to say, you know, can you just wait? But I said, okay, let her keep talking. Are you listening to me at all? Yes, I'm listening. And Mom, my teacher did this, he did that. He was crying at school today. I said, oh, that got my attention. Why was he upset? Why was he crying? And then she started explaining. I said, you guys been horrible to this teacher. You know, but to be honest with you, I was so busy. I really did not have the time. But I had to pretend like I had the time. And when I heard information that stood out, I picked up on that. So we can do things like that, create the atmosphere so that they feel free and they feel comfortable and confident coming to you with issues that they would generally not raise with you. You can find a platform to try and raise it up with them. And also to let them know that they can talk to you to discuss why certain settings are in place. Is to let them, they might not understand, but you can explain to them with time, because sometimes with time they understand these things. And you can set good, strong passwords where you're able to. And age is a significant factor. Yes, we've talked about that before. So we're looking at the limits to parental control. Age is a significant factor. No two 11-year-olds are the same. Some people are, and the way that children grow will depend on their family setting, their home setting. It depends on the people that they see as their role model, maybe their parents. It depends on whether are they the firstborns or are they the last. It depends, have they got other siblings or are they the only child? It depends on how they've been raised. So age is a significant factor. What might be good for me, for my 11-year-old, might not be good for your 11-year-old, and vice versa. So as children get older, restrictions and controls you use will change. You can put in a restriction at age 11. As soon as they turn teenage age, remember, before they turn teenage, they're already saying, oh, I can't wait to be a teenager. I can't wait. And they call themselves preteen. So they're telling you all that so that they can have certain liberties. They can have certain privileges. Let's put it like that. I can't wait to be 13 when I'm a teenager, when I'm 16, or when I'm 18. So as they grow older, they get wiser. The restrictions can be reviewed. They're not for life. But only at a pace that is appropriate. So what this means is that you set the restriction at a pace that is appropriate for your child, not pressure from your child, because children, they can convince you, they can pester you, they will tell you that 95% of the people in their class have mobile phones, have TikTok, they have this. Mom, there is a certain education, and if they want to be very smart, they will come and tell you, oh, I learned this from TikTok. Oh, whatever. Oh, I learned this from this side. And they make you feel like they're learning. And it could be, well, you know, true. It could be true. And that's the fact. But don't let them put pressure on you. You're still the decision maker in their life at this particular stage. Okay, so we want to assume that, you know what's best. And I believe that every parent knows what's best for their children. So don't let them put pressures on you. And then content filters are never 100% effective. It is likely at some point, yes, so they're never 100% effective, because have you noticed that sometimes you're on a certain website? I think I've mentioned this before, like I'm on my email and suddenly you just see like things pop up at the bottom of your email, your device. Things are so random, or it might be things that I might have searched for maybe, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. They pop up, and it's the same with kids. They're on a certain website, they're using an app, and things pop up. And sometimes they might click into it, click yes, accept, or whatever, and then it takes them into another layer. It just keeps digging them in, getting deep, and it might take them to something that they haven't quite planned to see, in all honesty. And it's really not fair, but sometimes these things can happen, let's be honest. So content filters are not 100% effective. What we need to do is talk to them. It's important that we're able to talk to them. We've established that, and they're able to come to us whenever they feel like they've seen things that shouldn't necessarily be, that they shouldn't necessarily see online. Okay. So for today's session, we have used information from the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. There is loads and loads and loads and loads of information about anything to keep children safe, about their well-being, online well-being, physical well-being, anything to do with children. It's all in there. So once in a while, get in there, keep yourself up to date, find out what other people are doing, and hopefully, we'll be able to do the right things. I don't know if anybody has got any question, I don't know, or any contribution. I think I'm just blabbing now. But if there's any contribution, please feel free. Any experience you've got about some of the things that we've discussed, you can share it with us. Or if you want to validate any of the points that we've raised, then again, feel free.
Let's use opportunity to discuss about personal stuff, that what is happening within our children at home, within our family setting, in respect of this particular session. Do we have any contribution? Is there any question you want to ask concerning your child? I know Modupe have a particular, she has a question to ask. Let's see the chat. Is she with us? Modupe said I'm struggling to set up iPhone on my child's phone.
Oh, that question is not very clear. To set up iPhone.
So, yes, I wanted to see if she's there. Maybe she can clarify.
Yeah.
Modupe Ola. Are you there? Okay. Maybe she's
right. Maybe she can send us the message on the platform or personally, and we can look into it.
Exactly. If you have any other question, you can
ask. She says she can't hear. She just said she can't hear. She will join again.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh dear.
Whilst we're waiting, if there's anybody else that's got any contribution, please feel free. Jennifer, Becky.
Oh, okay, she's just joined it now. Joining now. Oh, yeah. Let's see if she have this question to ask, because she sent the question quite a while. Modupe, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Good evening, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for this session. It's a beautiful one. And unfortunately, I couldn't hear much, but I think it's a lot for we moms to learn from. Yes, my own problem is that my daughter, I do have this problem. When she used to use the Android phone, I used to have this parental control over it. I could see what she's going in. It normally asks me, when you request, and if I don't accept it, she can't go on it, which I was able to control what she watches and what she does. But ever since she got this iPhone phone, I struggle. I can't get it to add to that parental control. I don't know. I struggle. I've done everything.
Yes,
it's like
I've mentioned it before.
Sorry?
I've mentioned it before. iPhone, their security is very, very tight.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very tight. You might not be, it just depends on which app are you using, which application are you using to set up this parental control.
It's not a family, this thing, it's the family something I'm using. And which family, what's it called again?
Is it nothing?
Link. Is it Family Link? Yeah, Family Link.
Family Link. Oh, I talked about it here. Let me see. I can say there was a link actually on the slides that will take you to iPhone's settings, and it gives you information about how you can set parental control for iPhone. I had the link on the slide, Mudupe. So what I'm going to do, if that's okay.
Yes, share, please.
Yes, we can put it on the platform.
Please.
Or did you want me to share?
It's on the platform. Do share.
Okay.
Hi, baby. Welcome on. How was it? Good. You look so wet. Is it still raining? Huh? Is it still raining?
Yeah. Modupe, are you still there with us?
Yes. So sorry, ladies. I'm here. Sorry. How to set up
the family link? Family link.
Yes, this Family Link I do have. Let me see. That's the one I do have. And I used to use it before, which I was able to control, even put timer on it, do all sorts of. But with this one, I can't do nothing. And it's really frustrating me,
It's frustrating.
So what I do is I can't take the phone, but most times you forget, you're tired, you forget to take the phone off them. And before you know it, they're on the phone till midnight, which you wouldn't even know. You get what I mean? So it's a struggle. And most time when you tell them, okay, give me your phone, you've said your own, they pretend to hear you. By the time you go in to do something, you've forgotten, and then you slip off, and that's it. You just realize, oh my God, this child didn't give me the phone. Most time I wake up in the middle of the night when I remember, oh my God, she didn't give me the phone. And then lo and behold, when they see that movement, they quickly dodge and put it as if they're sleeping. She does that a lot, but she knows I get her. I used to fish her out easily. I fish her out easily. I don't waste my time, because by the time she's there and I'm not hearing that snoring sound, and I'm hearing that she's so in a very, very funny position, I'll say, oh, this girl is definitely not asleep. So I'll tap her, and then she start laughing, pretend to be sleeping. But aside that, I wouldn't want to be doing that, which I used to do before. Once the timer is there, limit time, she has to beg me for extra time if it is important.
Exactly. She has to earn it.
I can't do any of that.
Thank you.
And I'm really frustrated, honestly.
Look at this. So if you go on this slide 10, you can see. So if you go on Apple iOS devices, if you go on this link here, this link there.
You share the link with us.
Yes,
Apple iOS device.
Yes,
I'm very bad with the Apple. I'm sorry, I hate the Apple with passion. I don't even know how to walk around there. It's the worst device I have ever noticed in my life. I don't know how they enjoy it and how they work with it. It's complicated for me. So.
You have to learn.
I tried on my sister. Oh, I've tried, but
join the club.
But can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, go for it, John.
What phone do you use? Is it Android or?
I am Android fan from day one.
Okay, that's why. Android. The only way that you're going to really hone on this Apple thing is when you do your next renewal, go on Apple. And that's the challenge I'm going to give myself.
I just did my renewal just 1 week ago.
Oh, and you went on Android again.
She said, oh, mommy, go for the latest Apple. Pro 14 Pro. I said, whatever it is, I'm not interested. I went for my Android latest. I said, please, let me go with my Android. I'm happy with it. I don't know how to do it. I wanted to do that, but I noticed that phone is too complicated. I can't even deal with it.
No, but the more you use it, the more you get used to it. That's the only way. And that's what I've decided to do as well, because guess what? Kids love Apple. If you
I'm
give my
telling
daughter
you.
She's
the
the only one that
highest,
uses Apple in my house. My mom uses Android. We both use. She was using Android when we could manage her, but when she turned 10, she said, "No, I'm going for Apple."
there you go. So they're
And that was
smart.
where the whole problem started. And now I can't manage nothing. It's
Yes.
annoying. So I only do the silly things like what you say, take the phone, spot check. You just take it once in a while. I start checking. It's tiring.
It's tiring.
You know, at times you read some conversation, you are so into it. I feel like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, oh my God, why are you having this? I've blocked a lot of our contacts.
Definitely.
Due to the fact that I'm
Definitely.
seeing their conversations. And
Yes.
I felt, really, what kind of friend is this? I blocked them.
Yes.
I said, in
Yes.
fact, and she knows once I block them, she dare not add them again. If not, that phone is gone. She's banned from using phone, which she wouldn't afford, she can't afford to lose the phone.
Exactly.
What kind of conversation is
Exactly.
this? What kind of friend are these? This friend, they are not good influence. I'm blocking. Say, oh, mommy, please don't call them anyway. I said, no, if there's need for it, I will do it. But right now, it's blocking. So, but honestly, I wish I could do that. I would try that Apple thing. Oh, well, if you know how to do it, I think I'm on your case.
Don't
I need to really get to do this, honestly.
We'll get there. You
It's
need
important.
to you need to message me. Let's work on our
Yeah,
time.
because that's the only problem I have. I really love the way I used to do it before. I don't stress myself, nothing. She wants to go into any app, it's easy to notify me. And if I look through it, it's not age appropriate, it's not what I think she should be doing. I'm saying I'm denying it.
Yes.
It's so easy. And the time
that is why we are improving. We are trying to work with more gadgets and go the internet. We are knowledge. We are expanding on it. So
I know.
Welcome to the club. You're going to learn more. Don't worry.
Please teach me. I'm begging to be your coach, this one. This one I need to learn because it's really nice when you know what's going on in their life. But now it's like you have to be doing it like the dark. Yeah, and it's like I want to do things like randomly when she's on, that kind of thing. I can easily once I go on that thing, it can easily tell me what app this location where she's been to. So I don't need to even start dragging the phone with her. I see those things, but now I can't see nothing. And they're smart, like you said.
It's your fault. You gave her an iPhone. It's your fault.
I was being nice now. I was being nice now.
Learn from that. I've learned from that. For my other kids, they're not getting an iPhone. Stick with your Android.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not fair.
So true. Anyway, she's getting a new phone. Whenever she's upgrading, she's going back to Android. That's what I'm going to do. She's definitely going back to Android. I don't care what she says. Yeah.
Thank you, Modupe. Thank you. I think Becky's got her hands up.
Exactly. Becky's waiting. Yeah. Over to you, Becky.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I just want to put a little bit of contribution to some of the things that Auntie Joy has spoken about, and also some points about what Dimodupe talked about. Yeah, in terms of when it was really educative, and I liked the information, refreshes exactly what you've been following, and if there was any lapses, reminds you need to look at those things in terms of monitoring what the kids are doing, random checks and all those stuff. Another thing I will also want to add is that the kids, they are very smart, but I also know that God has created us to be smarter than them in a way. So what another skills the kids can do is they could quickly, after their conversation, they will delete some information so that you don't know. But I will say 50 out of 100, they will forget some of them. So you will definitely see.
There's always loopholes.
No, my mommy, there was a time, my daughter quickly sent a message to her friend and said, my mommy normally checks my phone. That was when she was in year 6. My mommy normally checks my phone. I think there was a thing that one was trying to ask a question. And I think something very, very personal. So she now told her that when she gets to school, she should tell her, because she said she has something to tell her that she don't want her to share it with anybody. And she said, what is it that you want to tell me? She said, it's something she don't want her to tell anybody. She said, oh, please don't put the message here because my mommy normally checks my phone.
Oh,
And that
my
message, my daughter
word.
forgot this one. Can you imagine? Year 6. At that stage, the good thing about it is that God's so helping us that we are able to guide our children, and in a situation whereby negative influence around them will not really affect them, so that they themselves can tell you so many things. In a way, I kind of like find out exactly why did you say that and what was transpiring. So it's a secret that she don't want anybody to hear. But however, I thought it was something like it was really serious anyway. She kind of like gave me a little bit of hints. It wasn't a big deal. But the reason she didn't know what she wanted to say, my mommy normally checks my phone. So in other words, she's trying to tell you that some sensitive things, don't share it in this phone. My mommy checks my phone. Yeah. Yep. Then they will grow up, develop up to a stage that some things now they will not start to learn to delete. Like that one when you say, oh, can you give me the phone now? I say, oh, hold on 1 minute, 1 minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All those pages, immediately, she starts, coming off those searches quickly. So that you don't see, why are you coming up those things? You are handing your phone to me. Just give it to me the way it is. No, I don't want my battery to run down. And also we try and stick to a routine, just to contribute to what Modupe was saying, because if we make it a point of duty that the phones don't stay with the kids, it's a rule. You must hand in your phone at bedtime. Yeah, and this is a certain time. Let's say 60 out of 100, they will want to breach it a little bit. So you say, oh, you're supposed to hand in your phone at 8. Sometimes they say, oh, you remaining 2 minutes to 8. Mommy, I still have 2 minutes. And you give them the leeway. By the time it's 5 minutes past 8, they are still on that phone. It was very, very good with the Android. Like he said, when my daughter had Android, I had all the control. But if you want to have the same control, I think it's for you to also have the same kind of phone. Because there was a friend I was talking to said, oh, since I got, my daughter got iPhone, I can't really do so many of all those things. She said, oh, that's the battle she also faced with her daughter's own. So she had to put her daughter back to Android and make sure she stick to the Android where she can do all those control, the family link and all those stuff. That she's not going to have the iPhone at all because she was just really having a make about so many things and bad friendship and all those stuff. So we able to monitor the kids. It really helps a lot. Yes. And also we kind of like how do we say, like do it in kind of like undercover sometimes, and where it's like you give them an opportunity as if you are dancing to their tune. You want to really pick. See, guys, if you just like have a situation whereby you don't want this, you don't like this, you don't want this. So when they want to do some certain things, they want to express on certain things, they will be hiding it. Yeah, but it kind of like want to dance to their tune and say, oh, yeah, it's all right, so long as you let me know. And, you want to see their expression and know what they can really keep, that bond. You get it, to really know, tell you certain things, tell you secret, tell you things that, yeah, they want to share. So if you really want to have complete control, it's for you to go, like me, I'm not a fan of iPhone at all. And I tell you, I have not got it. It's like, oh, mommy, get the iPhone, mommy, get the iPhone, mommy. And I know when I get that iPhone, that will be the first thing to continue and up my game on the 100% control of the time and everything. But the good part of it is that she's the limited access to the phone. And another thing you can also do, like talk about the search, the history. You can search that. There is something you can also check on your phone. I don't know how to do it, either your phone or your tablet or anything. It's being done by the internet provider. I stumbled on it one day, and that day I was tired, so I didn't follow it up. It gives you an opportunity for you to see the history of what members of your family are going, the sites. Yeah, the members of your family, everyone that uses the Wi-Fi in the house, it gives you an opportunity to see those sites. When I was using, I think it was when I was using Sky then, it gave me that but I really didn't study it much to see. So if we create time to really look into those ones, we can
Thank
also
you
have an
very
access.
much.
Then, yeah. So
Thank you. Thank you. There's so
yeah.
much out there. It's just we're not aware of
There's
it. And
so
like I
much.
said before,
Yeah.
we're not taking advantage of all the measures that they've put in place to help us protect these kids. We're a bit lazy
Exactly.
about it. Yeah, so we're a bit lazy.
Yeah.
There's something, one last thing I'm going to raise. And I think for next week, we might do a quiz because I want to test your knowledge, ladies and men, if there's any men here. Have you noticed that with these kids, they use a lot of abbreviations that you would not know what
Oh,
they
Oh,
exactly.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to do a quiz.
So true, so true. And I keep asking my daughter, what's this one again? What's the meaning of this?
Okay,
You see
thank you.
BRB.
So,
I said, what's BRB? She write back. I said, okay.
yeah, ladies sometimes have gone online. There's a Google search you can do to find out the meaning of all these abbreviations because they want to lost you. Remember, they don't want to talk all the time. They before you know, they've sent 10 messages and you are there with them.
Yeah.
You don't even know what they're up to. So we'll do a quiz. We'll find our website. We can look at it and see whether how far, test our knowledge to see how far we really know about what's happening in our children's world. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's been a great session. Thank you for all your contributions and your questions and everything. Over
yes,
to
you
you.
are right. You are right, Jennifer. Emojis as well. She was just typing some stuff, you know.
Yes.
Emojis is part of it. Thank
Yes.
you very much, everyone, for tuning in, for joining us again. You can see it's good to rub minds together. You'll be thinking you know it all. We are all learning. It's ongoing. That is why we say in the Thought Foundation, learning is ongoing. There is no end to it. You know, every day you learn. You learn from your experience. You learn from other people's experience. But there's one thing I want to let everyone know is that if there is anything you are not taking home in this particular session today, it is for we to have time for the children. Time matters a lot. Whether you are a man, you are a woman, please let's try to create time for the children. If it just means sitting, everybody sitting on the floor just to discuss, do artwork, let them talk to you. Put your phone behind and try to do that. It does help because I've experienced it and I've done such. They are looking forward to that part of experience just for me to be with them, create time to sit with them. It doesn't really mean they are very young or if they are at a particular age, but when you create time, you ask them, how was your day? What's going on? It does matter a lot. So thank you for tuning in. We have to call it bye-bye at this point. And hopefully next week there is no, it's not half term because most of the time half term we are not here. So we'll be in here again next week before we have a break. Then after the break, that will be Easter break. Then we'll come back again. We'll still have more sessions to do. I want to say thank you, Joe, and every other person for tuning in. Sorry again, I must apologize for the mental well-being professional that was supposed to tune in. Most of you joining late, we're having internet issues as well. Thank you and bye-bye from me and from everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I want to show my face.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.